Hamas CEO.
Because that Palestine was just, was that yesterday or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was a year ago.
What's up, James?
Hey,
Very liked it.
What do you know? Oh, no, sorry. Beverly texted me and I just...
are we ready?
I appreciate it. Sure.
All right, we are ready to go here.
Thank you.
City of Hannibal official council meeting tonight, Tuesday, February 6, 2024, council chambers, 7 p.m. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Councilmember Welch.
Here.
Councilmember Munger.
Here.
Councilmember McCoy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
Councilmember Franke.
Present.
And Mayor Waterman.
Here. Okay, there'll be a quorum present. I'll call this meeting to order. Could you do the invocation tonight, please? Councilman Munger.
Lord, we just come before you and we thank you that we can gather here. We ask you to guide us, give us wisdom to do exactly what you would have us do. Lord, we ask you to have your way in this place. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I need a motion for approval of the agenda tonight, please.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need approval of minutes from the regular scheduled council meeting on January 16th, 2024.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need approval of payroll and claims second half, January 2024, please.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it looks like we have a couple people for the public comments section here. You guys want to come on up front here? Need you to state your name, what you're wanting to talk about.
I'm LaDonna Hampton, and I want to talk about squatters' rights. And I just want to kind of read a little bit about what their rights are and my concerns about it. For landlords, the ideal tenant is one that pays rent consistently and on time. A squatter would be the opposite of the dream renter. Property owners around the globe have been paying close attention to the squatting. Most states have squatters' rights, which allows someone who lives in their home for a certain amount of time to gain legal title to your property, all without paying you a dime or rent. Many residential and commercial property owners are now apprehensive about having their buildings unoccupied due to the concerns that onlookers may view it as squatting opportunity. Even landlords seeking tenants must be exceptionally vigilant, and it comes into screening potential renters, as some may pay their rent for a short period of time before deciding to occupy the space unlawfully without paying the rent. Squatters' rights refer to laws that allow a squatter to use or inhabit another person's property in the event that the lawful owner does not evict or take action against the squatter. A squatter is any individual who decides to inhabit a piece of land or a building in which they have no legal right to occupy. The squatter lives in the building or on the property that they select without paying rent or without lawful documentation stating that it's their own property, and are a law-abiding tenant, or that they have permission to use or access the area. A squatter should not be confused with the trespasser. A trespasser breaks into the property through an illegal entry and doesn't have utilities, furniture, or any form of prior lease. Due to this, the trespasser can be removed for violation, local toiletry, and trespassing. However, a squatter may have grounds for remaining on the property if they're able to provide evidence of tenants' rights, utility bills, and tax documents to gain access, adverse possession claim depending on their state's specific laws. If squatter provides these forms of documentation, whether true or falsified, police will not remove them from the property. The property owner would have to take them to court to get them the ownership issued, resolved. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know, and she's going to come up and talk about it, but and a lot of times this hurts. I feel like this is kind of an illegal law. And I know our state has approved it, but that doesn't mean as a city we have to accept it, because I just know recently we applied our state for, sorry, I'm very nervous. I don't like getting up and talking. People who are retiring. Okay, they are allowed, they're not going to be taking their taxes anymore because our state, but that's only if the county or the city decides that they're not going to be taking their, taxing them on their Social Security anymore. All right, so what I'm saying here is on the squatter law, it isn't right for them to come in and take somebody's property and stuff and to move in and stuff. And we'll give you an example here, and she's going to come up and share some things of what happened to her, of a house that she legally purchased, and she was away taking care of her husband who passed away, and some things. And so I just feel like as a city, if we want to have more people wanting to rent, because we do have a homeless problem here in Hannibal, that more people would be interested in that. Plus, one of the Airbnbs, not in this town, but in another town in the U.S., they had mentioned that they had somebody's come in and squat on them, and they couldn't get them out. And I don't see that the person who is the one providing the home should be the one that has to get the lawyer. They should be able to remove this person from their home and not have to go through all this legal stuff.
Well, the biggest thing on this is it's a legal issue.
I know it's a legal
and
issue.
I'm not sure that the city, I don't think we can pass an ordinance or a law that supersedes what the state says. Is that correct?
Well, if it's...
Am I wrong in that?
In general, you're correct, Mayor. I smile because it's a somewhat complicated situation, and the problem is, LaDonna, we don't have the ability to change what the basic laws are in regard to evicting a person. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a wiggle room here. If a property owner can show that the person had no prior relationship with the landlord, and that, like they kicked in the door, et cetera, there's potentially a trespass issue. We've already got an ordinance against trespass, and if you can effectively show that this person is trespassing, we can do something under our trespass ordinance. Here's the, let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Here's the, and I don't mean to speak over you.
No, you're fine.
If I don't say everything I'm thinking, I'm going to forget part of it.
Okay.
But so the problem is, very rarely does somebody, when the police go, very rarely does somebody go, yep, you know what, I kicked in this door and I'm illegally here. What they'll claim is, oh, well, they told me I could stay here. Oh, well, I was renting here, et cetera, et cetera. And at that point, it makes it a point where you're asking our officers to make a determination of legal facts, and that's something that really only a judge can do. So frequently what will happen is officers will go, they'll talk to the person will make some claim that they're legally there, and at that point, it arguably becomes a civil matter, and then, as you pointed out, the person who actually owns the property is the person that's going to be obligated, because they're the person with the right to do it. Now, there are some modifications of that. For instance, if the police went there and found the person doing drugs, they could bring it to me. We can do a drug house eviction, and we have done those in the past. But as you pointed out, while Missouri is certainly not as bad as some places like California, where basically somebody gets in there and you may be 90 days to get them out, you are probably looking at 30 to 45 if they are bright enough to spin a tale of, oh, we were legally in here as a tenant and that landlord's lying. So...
I'm just looking, all 50 states I notice have squatters' rights now. And I'm thinking, what was the thinking in the process of this in the first place? And I'm thinking, why would they even do that unless they knew that everybody was going to come in at the southern border here and they were just going to bring them on in here to move up on someone's house? Now, I know that we have a lot of housing issues here, and I know that we could probably get more people interested in renting if they knew their house was protected. That's just my thoughts on it and stuff. Why would you want to rent if you knew that there's the possibility of you having to get a lawyer to go out and take care of those things? You know, I don't know. It's just my thoughts and stuff.
Excuse me, I got a question for you. You said you had someone here to speak
Yeah,
that is,
on her, what she's going through with this water.
is this the only example that you personally know of?
I can just support her, and I have thought about myself doing an Airbnb or possibly renting, but these are things that makes me kind of want to not, because I don't think it's right with the stuff that we go on, the illegal stuff at the border, and just what I, witnessed with her. I'm thinking this is not right. I mean, how do we protect our own property?
Okay.
I don't know.
Ladonna, if I could, just one more quick thought. Two things. Number one, obviously do your best to secure your property, door locks, et cetera, et cetera. I know that doesn't keep everybody out, but the second issue is before anyone's allowed access to your real estate, you need to make sure that you've got a written lease, because Missouri is one of the states that's, if you have a written lease, you can change the laws quite a bit. For instance, if you got a written lease, you can put somebody out on 10 days notice, whereas under state law, it's 30 days. So there are things that can make it much better, but the best thing to do is for people to, if they're going to let anybody in their property, make sure they're there under the power of some type of written document so that you can control it.
How about an Airbnb? Because I know that they've already got a squatter. A couple of them.
Airbnb has become a real problem, especially on the West Coast. But again, before you let anybody have access, you can certainly email them a document, require them to sign it, and email it back. It doesn't have to be the original document. Missouri does accept email documents, fax documents, photocopy documents. So long as that person doesn't gain access to your property without some type of a writing that sets out exactly what your rights are and your rights are to gain possession, there are things that homeowners can do and landlords can do in order to minimize their damages. And so there's things like that. And I'm not trying to drum up work, but talking to an attorney before you open your doors is probably a good idea. A little bit of money spent up front is way better than having to sue to evict somebody.
Okay.
Thank you.
And she can't hear unless there's a question. I'm almost totally deaf.
My thing was with the squatter's law, I didn't know about it until I bought the house. They were going to lose it in November of 22, and it was my friend that passed away, so her daughter was there. So her uncle had talked to me about it, so I offered to buy the house, and I let them stay there 7 months free. That way they would be able to find a place in 7 months. If you don't, I'll be down June the 3rd of 23, because it's November of 22 when I got it. If you don't, I'll be in the basement. You'll be upstairs. All you gotta do is buy your food. I hope you find a place. Well, I didn't know about squatters till I was gonna go down to get into the house. They're not moving. You can't do anything. I don't care what you paid. I'm not moving. This kind of stuff. So then I have to get a lawyer, which I did, and found out they have rights. I don't. I can't get in the yard, stalking. So after several months of being in my van in my son's garage, because I had no place to go, I have dogs, I get a call from Tim, a policeman here in Hannibal, because I was in Monroe. Basically, I'm going to get a fine because the grass hasn't been cut for several months, and they've been in the house for 3 or 4 years with their mother before she had passed. So I had to get somebody to cut the grass because I couldn't go in the yard. And so if we had the snow that was heavy, I'm responsible. If an accident happens, I would have to do the snow. So I was thankful we didn't have all that. But I just want their rights being taken away, that we have some kind of rights that we have to suffer while they're living free and living good. And I'm sorry, I'm almost totally deaf,
Right.
okay?
All I was going to say was this, and please don't tell me who you talked to, But I'm sorry that attorney wasn't able to help you, because I can assure you, there's plenty of attorneys in town who absolutely could have had those people out of there in 45 to 60 days. While they have certain rights that protect them against a bad landlord, landlords have rights also, property owners have rights also. It's unfortunate that sometimes you have to hire a lawyer to help you with that, but if you were told there was nothing that could be done for 90 days or longer, you were told incorrectly.
Well, I did the first, is it called eviction for the 30 days?
Demand,
I did
30-day
that
demands.
for all of July. I did the second one for all of August, and I've been waiting to go to court for about 8 months.
Well,
Oh, and I'm not saying nothing bad.
I don't interfere with other lawyers, but perhaps you may want to seek another attorney.
Okay, because I'm going to say, I haven't taken a penny from the people. I just want to get in my
understand.
house. You know?
I would if you've been waiting 8 months, I would recommend you seek
8
other
months.
counsel.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
Good luck. Thank you
Okay,
for bringing it
thank
to
you.
our attention.
Yeah, I have a question for Mr. Lemon. This is just a general question. If you accept payment from a person for your property, does that payment constitute a lease?
Probably.
So in this circumstance with the young lady there that was concerned about possibly starting a B&B, typically those are paid up front. So that upfront payment, regardless of the method of booking, that payment up front would constitute the lease and give the landowner, the right, to have a standard contract just by accepting a payment?
Here would be my thought. Acceptance of the money is going to be the issue, and what is acceptance and what is not acceptance. Just because someone hands you a check or hands you money or even emails you money does not necessarily show that an agreement's been entered into. You could certainly send that back, and my advice to any clients I have that do Airbnb, rentals, et cetera, is don't let anyone in your property unless you have a writing in which they have agreed that upon 10 days' notice, you can evict them, because it can greatly shorten the time that it takes to get someone out of your property. And I mean, literally, it can shorten the time from 45 days to something more like 25 to 30 days. So it can cut a good 2 to 3 weeks off of the time it can take to get someone out of your property. So never, ever, ever let anyone into your property unless they have signed a writing agreeing to the terms that you're comfortable with.
Okay, so that those fears, based on this conversation, could probably be, mitigated with that type of rental or B&B agreement. You could protect yourself that way.
All right, under my name, we'll have a second reading for the library board, Jessica Gilmore, appointment for a term to expire June 2024. Need the clerk to call the roll. Do I need a motion?
Yes.
I need a motion to give this an approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now I can have clerk. It says. I need approval of reappointment to the Airport Commission, second reading. I need a motion to move forward with that. Is this on here twice?
You should have two.
I don't have a name for this one.
Okay, then just skip down to.
Okay.
Actions. This is just a reappointment. This was a short
Yeah,
appointment.
okay.
That's new.
All right. I guess we are reappointing Don Bashan to the Airport Commission. I'll need a motion to move this forward.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Mayor, I've heard that Mr. Bastian forces family members to work on his airplane when they're in town. I don't know if that's should be held against him, but I've heard that at Thanksgiving he made some kids work on his plane.
The spirit of Mark Twain, if I had a chance, we put that. That's what we had. Yeah. I'm sure they did a good job.
Awesome. That's all you got to do is make sure they do the job right. Mike Dobson, Chief, Hannibal Rural Fire Department.
Hannibal Rural Fire Protection District is requesting the use of a city-owned lot, specifically the area west of Clemens Field, for fire hose testing to be conducted by FireCat. They're a commercial fire hose testing company. Testing, it takes place in March. A tentative date of March the 4th has been set, contingent on weather and temperatures. We've used this lot in previous years, worked out well for us, seeking permission from the council to use the lot again this year, and a certificate of liability has been included in your packet.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
Thank you.
City Clerk, primary election approval.
Mayor, city council members, in accordance with provisions from section 1701, the charter of the city of Hannibal, a general municipal election may be held for the purpose of electing a mayor, councilman, and other elected officers of the city for the purpose of deciding any questions that may lawfully be submitted to the electors. At this time, I request council approval to give an emergency reading to bill number 24-004, which authorizes a primary election to be held Tuesday, August 6, 2024. The 2024 City of Hannibal election schedule provides for the election of a municipal judge. This position is currently held by Municipal Judge Donald Bastian. Candidate filing for the above-mentioned positions will commence on Tuesday, February the 27th at 8 a.m. and conclude on March 26th at 5 p.m. If you have any questions, I will be ready to answer them.
Just one question. Daryl and I was talking before the meeting. He thought that Judge had filed one time before and been on an April ballot.
Judge is usually on the April ballot, and we did not have any anybody sign up, and Judge was unaware, and it wasn't on the announcement, so.
Okay, I was just looking at paying for another election.
Yeah, and then, this one, had it been primary, I would be concerned. Fortunate for us, it's election year, and so everybody has stuff on this April ballot, so our cost will be very, very low.
Yes.
Nothing compared to the cost of the mayor's election. So it will be very, very low. We could have done the August, or we could have done the ballot, because they both, school district, Rawls County, Marion County, everybody's got stuff. So the cost won't be too low, thankfully. And according to the charter, we find that the current judge will hold the spot until somebody's elected and be approved.
Very good.
Replacing.
Thank you.
Andy Dorian, Director of Central Services, or, well, I guess he is here.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. 3 items tonight. Just some paperwork, clearing up some paperwork here. Since we have a new mayor, we need to modify the North Street Stormwater ARPA grant agreement, which would make Mayor Louderman the authorized signer. So this is just changing from Mayor Hark to Mayor Louderman. So, and there's a resolution to follow on that.
Okay.
Next up, we have sale of city-owned property at 1527 Arch Street to Corey Allen for $575. Resolution to follow. And this one, James helped me with. On-premise LLC owns or leases land at the airport for a hangar. As part of that, their agreement with their bank, they need to make some modifications. James reviewed this. Doesn't seem to be an issue, but we need a resolution. We need a document signed. So James drafted that. So.
All right. We've done this in a similar fashion for some other people that have hangars out at the airport. I haven't done it in 4 or 5 years, but we have done it in the past.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Andy. You gonna take Mike's?
Yeah, I'll take I'll take the building inspector Mike McCarg's items for this evening. So the first item that we have is rescheduling a public hearing. So let's see, fire code. Let me grab the right one. Okay, so we went through the 2012 to 2018 fire code at planning and zoning level and exempted some things potentially.
Right.
So we're asking to reschedule the public hearing that was scheduled for February 7th, 2024 at 6:45 to February 20th at 6:45.
Okay.
That's the first item.
All right, we'll do these separate.
Yeah.
So
Make a
I need a
mo-
motion to approve on this.
So moved.
Second.
Any objections? All in favor?
Aye.
And then an application has been received from Anna and Rodney Bushmeyer. Their request is to rezone property at 574 Clinic Road from D Highway Business to B Multifamily. Planning and Zoning held their public hearing on January 18th, 2024. The Department of Public Works is requesting that council set their public hearing date for the rezoning for Tuesday, February 20th at 6:30 p.m.
Any discussion on that? Need a motion to approve?
I moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Okay, and the final item is code changes updating recreational marijuana. Planning and Zoning Commission is having their public hearing on updating the ordinance for recreational marijuana on February 15th, 2024. And so we would like to go ahead and ask the council to set the public hearing date for February 20th, 2024 at 6:15 on these code changes.
Any discussion on that? Question?
Motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Show Sheltry.
Good evening. In your packet, there is a request for the Hannibal Convention Visitors Bureau to have a website maintenance agree continuing on with Osborne Bar in Paramore for the calendar year of 2024 for a cost of $3,150. And we are requesting that Mayor Louderman be able to sign this agreement.
Any discussion? Any questions?
When was that? Wasn't that website just purchased and built?
It was last year, and to my understanding, Megan was in here towards the end of last year for a maintenance package to last for the rest of last year. So that agreement ended at the end of 2023, and so they're looking for a new agreement from January of 24 to December of 24.
Okay, so the original agreement has expired.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Darren Gordon? General Manager, Board of Health.
Mayor, members of council, I've got a couple of items here. First of all, in your attached documents, we have a mutual aid agreement, which I'm seeking to have your approval on, requesting that the council approve the MPUA mutual aid agreement of 2024-25 by ordinance. A mutual aid agreement allows us, in times of emergency, to receive help from other linemen, other companies, and municipalities throughout the state. That is through the MPUA agreement. It also reaches out to a couple of the surrounding states where they're able to help us. In turn, we're also on the hook, not on the hook. We can either go and help. We can also, if we're in trouble ourselves, we don't have to go. But this mutual aid agreement has been something that we've done for decades, and it is a fantastic strength that we have, and it's a great tool in our toolbox to help keep the power going. Any questions?
Say it's a 2-year agreement? 2 years or just one?
It's just one.
Yeah, so you have to renew every year.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's kind of new. I think in the past, like I said, this has been in place for decades. There's been times when they've let it run for many years. This one, they're asking for 1 year, and they're actually coming to you for that approval, which is a step up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like we have Bill 24-005 to follow, first reading on that. Okay,
Next one. We have a roof replacement, and I'm come to you to seek a purchase policy exception. Beginning this last year, we have put a new roof on our water treatment plant. We went out to bid. It was been engineered. It cost us approximately $237,000 to put that roof on. The bid itself was a unit pricing bid, meaning that we know how much it's going to cost per square foot. We also had in our budget approximately $300,000, which left us around $70,000 for us to do additional work if we needed to do that. What we would like to do is we have two other structures that we would like to put roofs on. Number one is the pump house. That's what pulls the water from the Mississippi River and puts it up to our water treatment facility. And the second is the Pleasant Street booster station. Both of those need to have these roofs. What we're doing, we have gotten a bid from that contractor to be able to put the roof on both of those structures for approximately $53,000. That remains within inside our budget, and also it is based upon that construct of that original bid. We spoke with Ethan of the Lemon Law Firm. He said that this is something that we could have probably just done it and been okay, but he says out of transparency and caution that I bring it to you and ask for your approval to be able to make this happen. And that is my request, that you approve this contract going forward.
anybody have any questions? Any
I'll
comments?
make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
Thank you very much. Number 3, we have come to the point of the North Street Storm Sewer Project. We have gone out to bid. What we are doing is we are going from where the Army Corps of Engineers have taken from the toe of the levee. They built it up to approximately Main Street, the first alley there. We now have a project that can take it up North Street all the way into Mark Twain Avenue, turn and go up Mark Twain Avenue. It's going to cost, according to the bids, we had 4 contractors that bid, and the bid for the lowest bid was $1,563,228.70. The highest bidder was $2,684,000. And with that, we have had our engineer, Pepping, Stone and Bach, they have gone back, they have vetted the low bid contractor. The low bid contractor is S&A Equipment and Builders, LLC. And I would ask that you approve this proposal by resolution.
Resolution 2501-24 to follow.
Excellent. By the way, that was part of what Andy did, allowing Mayor Louderman to do that signature. What we will do, this is, if you want a copy of the contract, I can leave it here for you to read. It's nice, easy reading. But that goes first, that will go first to S&A. They will agree to it, sign it, then it will come back, and with this approval, the mayor will be able to sign it as soon as that becomes available. We are trying to do this as quickly, expeditiously, and appropriately, because we're looking at going back. We have, Lisa has done a great job of securing a $5 million grant through ARPA, and with that, if we can get the rest of that put in the ground, the engineers felt that this would be a higher bid, actually. This is a very favorable bid, but we're trying to expedite things so that we can keep it rolling and take advantage of the remaining money.
Darren, when do you expect that work to start?
Probably at the end of the year, by the time we get, well, Lisa, help me out. Do you remember?
So the work on the first phase or the work on the second phase?
First phase.
The
Sorry?
The work on the first phase or the second phase?
Well, let me ask a question before I answer that. Right on the heels of the 79 overpass, I was wondering if you know what kind of street closures, what kind of obstruction, what kind of construction is going to happen on Mark Twain Avenue. If this is right after the overpass, the 79 overpass schedule, do you know if we're going to have street closures?
Yeah, yeah, you can go ahead.
So, ODOT's getting rid of the mill and fill on Mark Twain Avenue. very soon, once springtime happens. So they're going to mill and fill all the way Mark Twain Avenue, 3rd Street, all the way to the viaduct. The city has a portion of that on 3rd Street. MoDOT has the driving lanes. The city owns the parking lanes. So we will be bringing a contract to you here soon for our portion of the parking lanes. I would imagine that, knowing how it's about a 2-week project for that, because it's a quick mill. They'll mill it, they'll overlay it with MoDOT. SAP is the contractor on that. They'll be very fast.
Okay, so there'll still be at least one. There'll still be an open lane on Mark Twain Avenue.
We have not got their construction plans yet on that. So once we know that, then we will pass it on to you. We've not been told the construction schedule and the construction plans, other than it's going to happen sometime this spring.
Yeah, that'll be real important. Again, on the heels of the overpass closure.
And MoDOT will be aware of that because of the viaduct and those types of things. On North Street, that project will start sometime later this spring. All of North Street will be closed from 3rd Street down to the alley. The alley will be open to River Road because we have people that live down there, the train. But that whole section of street will be closed during that construction period, a couple months.
And the phase 1, which they're talking about, only comes up north, takes it like a 45 into the park. It doesn't actually hit into Mark Twain Avenue. That's phase 1.
Oh, correct.
Phase 2 then
goes on the terrace, the sidewalk area.
Yeah, right, kind of where the flowers and the sign is. It'll be in that area. Phase 2 then, if we're able to pull everything off, will then go up Mark Twain Avenue. It will most likely be in one of the north lanes. So we'll still have all 4 lanes won't be open, but it'll be congested to be reduced. So
good. That brings me a lot of relief.
We've had discussions with all of the contractors, recognizing that you've got downtown, you've got events, that they're going to do as much as they can to minimize any impact there.
Right. That was my main concern.
It is ARPA money, and there are hard and fast deadlines that we have to abide by, so.
Contractors would have to abide by. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. That helps. That makes me feel a little bit better about back-to-back road projects downtown, basically, in our main thoroughfares. So that's helpful to know. Thank you.
I would say 2024 will be a challenging year commuting downtown Hannibal, but 2 very, very good projects, thanks to Darren and Lisa on that, and MoDOT and the state on the viaduct project. 2025 is looking pretty good for downtown.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have all that done.
Correct.
All right, got your last one.
Last one.
Sorry, before you move forward, will that contract be coming through DocuSign for the mayor?
it will not.
It won't be, okay, can you make sure that I get a copy of that?
Yes, we will.
Before it goes someplace where you can't? Thank you.
Last thing, franchise agreement, franchise fees for utility operating in city. James,
can I jump in?
Will you please jump in?
I was saying, 'cause really this is, it's under Darren's name, but realistically, it's my project that Darren's helping me with. So the council had expressed some concerns to me regarding the lack of franchise agreements with certain utilities that are doing business inside the city limits. I had told you guys, my problem is I don't really know who is operating within our city limits, issue number one. And issue number two, I don't really have any kind of understanding of what we're talking about. Are we talking about one household, or are we talking about 50 households? Darren and I have discussed this, and I don't remember whether this was last week or the week before, and Darren has provided to me a plan of a way he can help me ascertain the answers to those two questions. And so he's going to work on that, on getting me that information. And once I have that information, I anticipate sending out letters with the council's pleasure to any utilities that are operating within the confines of the city limits to discuss with them entering into franchise agreements. And I do have some rough draft franchise agreements. They're generally based on what we did with the gas company when we renewed their franchise. So that's basically the issue. Darren, did you have anything to
Nothing.
add? Because it was under your name.
You both were working on that.
Any questions for me?
No, I need a motion to approve this.
I don't think there's no
Well,
action,
not really.
no action to be taken.
This was more in the nature of advising
Discussion.
the council what was going on.
All right.
That was originally put on the agenda. Darren and I had not spoken yet, and we had not figured out a plan. You can look at this as more of my reporting, and since Darren was going to be here anyway, then he gets to tell you his version of it, just in case I said something bad about him. But
Just right.
Excellent.
Sorry, I was just going by what else.
Beautiful, thank you.
no, it's fine. It was.
There's no
It
issues.
was.
I didn't
Thank you.
mean
I'll
to put it
second.
under your name.
Thanks, Darren.
All right. All right. We'll move on to bills and resolutions. So, you guys are just throwing these things at me.
No, I think they're ready. Number.
Okay. Okay. All right. Bill number 24-003, I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill number 24-003, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Building and Building Regulations, Article 3, Housing Code of the revised ordinances of the City of Hannibal by adding a new Division 6, Design and Construction Standards for the Standard Constructed Residential Home. Second and final reading. Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Munger?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Franke?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. Okay, I declare bill number 24-003 duly approved and adopted on this day. Bill number 24-004, I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill an emergency reading.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bill number 24-004, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal providing for a special primary election to be held Tuesday, August the 6th, 2024, for the purpose of electing a municipal judge. Emergency reading. Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Councilmember Welch.
Yes.
Councilmember Munger.
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmember Franke.
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. I declare bill number 24-004 duly approved and adopted on this day. Bill number 24-005, I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill number 24-005, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hannibal, Missouri, authorizing the President of the Board of Public Works to sign a MPUA mutual aid agreement. First reading.
And then I have resolution number 2497-24. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2497-24. Resolution authorizing the filing of an application with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources Financial Assistance Center State ARPA grant programs for subaward of federal financial assistance provided to the state of Missouri by the U.S. Department of the Treasury pursuant to Section 602B of the Social Security Act as added by Section 9901 of the American Rescue Plan Act. Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Munger?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Franke?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2497-24 duly approved and adopted on this day. Then we have resolution 2498-24. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2498-24, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a special warranty to Corey Allen for the sale of the city-owned property located at 1527 South Arch in the amount of $575. Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Munger?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Franke?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. I declare Resolution 2498-24 duly approved and adopted on this day. Resolution 2499-24, I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2499-24, a resolution waiving objection and consenting to execution of a commercial pledge agreement by On Premises LLC. Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Councilmember Welch.
Yes.
Councilmember Munger.
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmember Franke.
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2499-24 duly approved and adopted on this day. Resolution 2501-24, I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2501-24, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a $1,563,228.70 construction contract between the City of Hannibal and S&A Equipment and Builders LLC for the replacement and approximately 500 feet of storm sewer and related appurtenances under adjacent to North Street. Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Munger?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Franke?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2401-24 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now, we have a closed session in accordance with RSMO 610-021, 1 and 2. I need a motion to go into closed session in accordance with that. Subparagraphs 1 and 2, admitting myself, council, city manager, city attorney, and city clerk. Anybody else? And Andy.
Is Maria? Andy is Maria. No, okay.
All right. Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Munger?
Yes.
Councilmember McCoy?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dawson?
Yes.
Councilmember Franke?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman.
Yes.